Up next, we have Becker. Good evening, everyone. It's such a great pleasure to join with you this evening discussing Israel and its importance to the United States. First, I want to say my great job tonight is bringing all these people out and publicizing. And Pam, thank you for your wonderful speech tonight and for being the amazing conservative that you are. And you look good in person as you do in the night. Better, yes.
I'll send you a check.
I will be joining with you on your march on the mosque at 9/11. 9/11. Go to Pam's website. Is Pam Atlas?
ALLthat.com. We did a rally. 10,000 people showed up. You didn't hear about it. We'll be there again. A solemn service on 9/11 because they plan to open the triumphal mosque on the cherished site of conquered land on September 11, 2011, but I'm stealing your time.
No, that's quite all right. I'm glad you're informing the public. My name is Fran Becker. I'm running for Congress in the 4th District. You're hearing a lot of speak and talk about support for Israel tonight. But you have to wonder, is it being said just because it's politically expedient that somebody say that they support Israel? After all, it is campaign time. For me, you may not be able to look into somebody's heart, or you may not be able to read somebody's mind. Certainly you can't do that, that's not possible. But you can determine who that person are and the words that they may be saying as to being true if you see or try to understand or find out about a person's background. And if you were to look into my background, you knew that I grew up in Lynbrook, in a family that raised me to be a man of faith. I was raised to know that Judeo-Christian values are what made the United States great. When I went to high school, in Lynbrook High School, better than half the students there were Jewish. And I had the blessing of having many, many Jewish friends in high school. They came to we went to their bar mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs, and they came to our confirmations. And it was then that my journey to understanding and appreciating the Judeo portion of the Judeo-Christian traditions and values began for me. And it was at that time also that it began that I started to understand that not only was there a spiritual connection between Jews and Christians, but there was a strategic, very important relationship between the United States and Israel. I don't think, if I'm fortunate enough to be elected, that it's just good enough to go to Washington just to support some bills and even to fight for Israel. If I'm fortunate enough to be elected, I think that it's my obligation and it's for me, my personal mission to do far more than that. My mission will be to help to reach out to other members of Congress who may not have grown up, and Senate, who may not have had the same wonderful experience that I did growing up and understanding the great Jewish traditions that this country values and has been so much a part of this nation. I will help other members understand that aid to Israel, the billions of dollars that we provide for them each and every year, benefits not only Israel, but benefits the United States of America. It benefits us because Israel is truly a partner to us. They bring back jobs and they send that money back to us. They are a true partner. I will help and work to help others in the House and in Washington understand that the flotilla crisis was simply a sham. The whole thing was designed to set up our great ally and make them look bad to the rest of the world. I will help them understand, because I bet a lot don't even know, that Israel is the only true democracy presently in the Middle East. There is no other democracy. And somebody, a good friend of mine, pointed out to me today that one of the reasons that they fear Israel, one of the reasons, is that if democracy spreads throughout the Middle East, then all Saudi Arabia and all these great sheikhs and shahs and whatever they are will lose their great power and have to become answerable to the rest of the citizens of their countries. I will help them also understand that the United States, the United Nations, and its investigation of Israel in the current war was also a sham. And once again, all the United States intentions, the United Nations intentions is doing is to try to belittle and make Israel look bad in the rest of the world. And I support the bill that Peter King proposed. That would actually, why not pull the funding and get out from underneath? I don't care what AIPAC says. It's totally ridiculous. I have to say, goons who have the worst human rights positions are permitted to make judgments on other people. I think it's a sham, and I think it's a disgrace. And Peter King is right. And this is very important. I would help them to understand, my colleagues in Congress, and I will work hard to do this, that we must have a strong United States military, and we must have a strong presence in the entire world that is respected. Because right now, you take a look at Turkey. What have they done? They've jumped into the lie of the Arab world because we're becoming and perceived to be weak in the world, our military. Israel can only depend on us and us depend on them if the United States has a strong military. And we're seeing that, as Pam just said, that the American exceptionalism, the concept of it is quickly vanishing. And as Bruce said, the United States is the last great hope of the entire world, and you would think that it would have changed over the years. But ladies and gentlemen, it has not. In fact, it's becoming more and more evident. And now, with Obama and Pelosi and Reid diminishing this great nation's character and its military and everything about us, is making us weak and emboldening our enemies. And as a result, it's weakening Israel's safety. And that is a great, great concern to me. If you don't have that big, strong, older brother there, ready to say, hey, don't pick on that person. Not that Israel needs us entirely to defend it in each and everything it does, but sometimes you have to stand back and say, let there be at least a fair fight, right? Let there at least be a fair fight if you have the big older brother saying, all right, you go ask it, but just so long as 3 and 4 others don't jump in the fight and hurt that person. Because I think, my personal feeling is, Israel can well defend itself if it's a fair fight. There's one other thing that's, in my opinion, critically important. We're seeing a financial collapse in our nation. We have stimulus packages that haven't created a job. And not even one job, and certainly not a job in Nassau County. And I have to say that my opponent, Carolyn McCarthy, has voted 97% of the time for the Obama, Pelosi, and Reid team. And that is, I don't think, please tell me if you disagree, I don't think that's representative of this district and the way people feel in the 4th Congressional District. So what I'm saying, though, is if America, there was my daughter who was helping me with my campaign, I love her. It's wonderful to have the internet, because she's out in California, and she's constantly sending me articles, and she's also helping me with Facebook, which I have no idea what to do. You know, I even said, you're going to friend them, and they said, oh, Dad, please, it's terrible. It's not that. That's not what it is. But it was studied by the Congressional Budget Office said within the last couple of days that a weak United States financial structure, or when, as we pile this debt upon debt, weakens us as a nation so that if there is a war that we must fight, we will not have the financial resources. So we're heading through very, very difficult times. And of course, if I were so lucky to be your representative in Congress, one thing that I believe in to the very core of myself, and I explain to you from where I came from and why I feel the way I do, and why I feel so passionate about Israel and the Judaic traditions, is I firmly believe that the sooner the better that we make Jerusalem the capital of Israel, the better. And I will go to Washington and fight for that. Beautifully said, the undivided eternal capital, Israel, Jerusalem, which is very, very significant to me. Certainly if you read the Bible as I do almost every morning. Very, very powerful. So I just want to mention one other thing. I've served in the Nassau County Legislature for 7 terms. And I've learned an awful lot. And one of the things that I've learned really how to fight. And I had to fight against tax increases over the past 8 terms, over and over again. I had to fight against increased spending. And then something came down the pike called an energy tax. And this was an appalling thing to me in the sense that, now, I don't want another, this is a mixed audience, but I'm Republican, you know, the Democrats always claim that they're concerned about the minorities. But an energy tax was more damaging and more aggressive to the minority community than any tax that ever could have been imposed on this county. And I, together with my Republican colleagues, we fought and we repealed that energy tax. So what I'm suggesting to you is that I want to fight. I want to go down there. I want to fight in Washington for you, and of course for the future of our country, as Pam so wonderfully expressed just moments ago. And you're doing a great job on the media in the air. But let me be the soldier, okay? You be the general. I'll go down there and I'll fight. And I just like to do, if I can, and wrap up. I don't have much more time. I just want to once again, Howard Coppell is my fellow colleague in the National County Legislature. I could not finish without acknowledging Howard, because you and Avi have been great friends and resources to me, and have taken me even further on that journey along understanding and appreciating Israel and the Jewish and Judeo-Christian traditions. Thank you, Howard. So I'll answer any questions. And you know what amazes me, especially with the Democratic Party and Obama, is I think they're totally out of touch with us. I think they're totally out of touch with the people that they're supposed to represent. And I just, of course, like you're probably wondering, well, how can this be? How much longer can it go on? But I think, you know, I congratulate the Tea Party people and becoming true activists. I'm so glad you've joined the fight. It's significant. I've been to many of your functions and debates and so forth, and I encourage you just to keep on going and to continue the fight. And with your help, we're going to have some changes this November. I feel it. I feel it in the wind. I feel it in my heart. And you know something? Failure is not an option. If we don't win in November, we will fail. And we will fail. And that can't happen. On Long Island, unfortunately, and I know the Tea Party people are working on this, the Gang of Four. We only have really one congressman on Long Island at this particular point, and that's Peter King. I would love for you to support me and consider supporting me, because I tell you, I will stand on Peter King's shoulders, okay, and shout loud as hard as he is and does. And it would be wonderful to go to Washington and serve beside him as another voice, as another rock, a rock for Israel. And that's what I want to be with him, a rock for Israel. It's all about money. those issues you're talking about, the Obamacare, which if we're not broke already when it comes into effect, will certainly bankrupt our nation. And as my colleague Bruce Blakeman, who I, by the way, served on the county legislature with him for many years and who's just an amazing guy, we have to take the money away. We have to defund every one of these programs. And really, that's the way it starts. Take the money away. Defund it. Yes. Well, first of all, there's a long talk on that particular question, but what you're saying is not totally accurate. You have to remember that in the last 8 years, the Swaziland and the Democrats have been in charge. And prior to that, and they're the ones, by the way, that instituted the energy tax and raised the taxes.
Okay, this isn't the place.
Okay, but I'm not, it's kind of a long answer, but time to lie. When the legislature first came in, the county was already in financial trouble with the Board of Supervisors. But the important question is, and I'd like to, you're talking about finances, and just briefly, I would like everyone, if you could take a moment, it's in my brochure, I'm running out of time, but I have a 5-point plan for financial recovery, to restore jobs to America and to restore the American dream. Would you go to my website, Becker for Congress, and just review it? I think it'll make a lot of sense to you, and that's what I'm going to fight for. And once again, it was a great pleasure to be with you. Thank you.